And then Sharon, you'll mute all, please.
Mm.
And you can unmute yourself. And speakers, when it's time for you to unmute, you can unmute yourselves, but otherwise, let's keep it muted. Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to see all of you here tonight, and I appreciate you taking your valuable time to be here to invest in learning more. And whoever invited you to this call tonight, you've been invited by somebody that really cares about you and wants you to know this amazing information that some of us have learned already, and we're excited to share with you guys. It's tough to be happy when you're not healthy, and we want everybody to be happy. So that's why we're excited to share with you. This is something that I've known about for many, many years, something that I was somebody who was really struggling, but then my wife, who's going to kind of take over here just in a second, Sharon, was introduced to this awesome way to get more fruits and vegetables into our diet. And as you'll hear tonight, the effects of having more fruits and vegetables and whole nutrition in your body is incredible. What happens when you start doing that. So we're going to learn a lot more about that. I'm going to turn it over to Sharon, and she's going to explain a little bit more. Mute.
Hi, guys.
There you go.
I was trying to, Dr. Demi Turner's coming home from a late day at the office, so he'll be with us in a little while, and we're going to share some stories, but I wanted to lay the foundation a little bit for you guys before we go into some stories of better health. It's really important that you understand, what has happened with people and why it's so important to really think about what we do for our bodies, and if you think about our daily habits are what's going to determine our optimal health. And hopefully you guys are on this call tonight because you want optimal health. You don't want mediocre health. You don't want standard health that is happening in America. You want better health. So it's important that we take care of the body that we have because it's the only one that we have to live in, and just like our cars, we don't want to go outside and our car not work. Well, we don't want our body to not work, right? So we've got to take care of it, and we want to prevent disease, but we also want to have a lot of vitality and feel really good all the way up to older age, and I'm just so excited. My mother-in-law, Doug's mom, just came to visit today, and she's just feeling really, really good, and you can tell, and like I said to some of you guys earlier, we had the music on because I was cleaning the house before she came home, and she just started grooving to the beat, and I'm like, where did this come from? That was so cool. So, and she's out chasing Pokemons. It's like, wow, don't we want to be like that in our 70s? So it's important that we think about nutrition. Nutrition is how we're going to help with prevention of disease. And there are a lot of diseases out there right now. There's a lot of autoimmune disorders, and a lot of it comes down to good nutrition. And the foundation of good nutrition is fruits and vegetables. This is what I learned 17 years ago. And I was so thankful somebody introduced me to Juice Plus, which I'll get into the details in a little while, but you guys have probably already heard about that. And it's a way to get a lot of fruits and vegetables. And so this American Cancer Society poster, when I saw that, I was just so thankful that my friend had really kind of alerted me to the fact that I could take some control of my health, that I wasn't going to be a victim of the medical system or just luck, either you're going to get it or you're not, and it doesn't just count for cancer. There's all kinds of terrible things that I don't want to happen. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, you name it. There's so many things out there that we really want to make sure that every day we do things to offset the bad things that are happening out in our world that we're trying to offset, whether it's stress, whether it's eating poorly, all those different things, we need to offset that by eating well. And one of the ways is to get lots and lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet so that you get your vitamins, minerals, and live enzymes. Live enzymes come from live food, which is raw, vine ripened, things like that. And that the whole variety of them is what's going to really do it for you. When you take a multivitamin, I hate to tell you, but you're not bridging the nutrition gap. Okay, you're not bridging the whole food gap. Really, in a multivitamin, you're only getting 30 nutrients that have been identified from an apple that has 10,000. or kale that has 10,000, or in a tomato, they've identified 12,455 different elements that are in a tomato. But in a multivitamin, you're only getting 30. So you're getting very little from just taking a multivitamin. So it's really important to eat those fruits and vegetables. And I want to just explain to you that it's really important to understand oxidative stress. That's going to help you in your mind to think, well, I better eat those blueberries even though I want that chocolate cake or that apple. This is me talking. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer to eat the chocolate cake or the chocolate anything over fruits or vegetables. I am not a perfect eater. That's why I have to offset a lot of the things I do. But fruits and vegetables are very important in the practice of prevention because we have what's called oxidative stress happening all the time, and that's just from living and breathing. And then if we smoke, we have so much more. If we exercise, believe it or not, we have more oxidative stress because we have more metabolism going on. And just all kinds of different things increase our oxidative stress. We need to have just as much antioxidants, and that comes from fruits and vegetables. So they really need to be even, the same amount as you have oxidative stress. If you don't, you have 10,000 oxidative hits hitting on your good cells every single day, and that causes mutation and disease over time. So we don't want that. We want to slow that aging process. And that's why in this Time magazine, if you look up here, it says the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good they could save your life. And you may have seen people who've gone out and started juicing, eating lots of fruits and vegetables when they're diagnosed with something. Well, I want you guys to just not wait for that time, but go ahead and start doing what those people would be doing every day, which is cramming in as many raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables every day from a variety. And so sometimes it's pretty impossible to do that. The government recommendation is 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables every day. And so I was so thankful that my friend, who was so much smarter about nutrition and health and athletics, she told me about Juice Plus 17 years ago and was so excited. I just like, all right, I'll get it. And then I started learning about it and got more and more excited that I was taking in raw fruits and vegetables because it is a way to bridge that gap. And the research behind Juice Plus shows that it is the next best thing to fruits and vegetables, and the whole body of research behind Juice Plus shows the same thing, that it's just like eating lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. This is a way to get 30 different ones, the variety, the actual nutrients from them. They've been juiced, they take out the salt, the sugar, and the water, they put it into capsule form, and then they also have soft chewables for children or adults who don't like to swallow capsules. And three main things set Juice Plus apart from other supplements out there, and there are like 10,000 supplements out there. And I don't think you'll find one that has all three of these things. Number one, it's a whole food product. It's not a vitamin. You'll see that on the nutrition facts label. Number two, it's NSF certified for safety. There are no herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, mold, bacteria, things like that. Plus everything that's on the label is in the product. Everything that's on the in the product is on the label. So they make sure that they're a third-party, not-for-profit agency. And then the big thing that I got excited about was the research. I had a couple master's degrees at the time. I knew nothing about nutrition, but I was excited because I knew about research, and the research was solid. And there was only 3 major research studies at the time. Now there's 36. And it's really amazing what the research is showing, and I'll show you that in a second. This is my before and after picture. Hopefully you can see the health difference between my first baby at the top and my third baby at the bottom, where I was just so much healthier after making lots of simple changes. I no longer had to stop off the side of the road to sleep on a 3-hour drive to my mom's house. I'd get so tired I'd have to pull off the side of the road. And then I had allergies. I was totally drained, exhausted. I was even called medical girl. Every time I would get a cold, it would turn to hacking, coughs, and then antibiotics. And so anyway, totally different now. And I'm in my very late 40s. I'm not going to be able to say that for very much longer because now we're in August. And so anyway, my birthday's coming up. But I have a lot more vitality now. And hopefully you can see I look better than I did back then because I think I had a lot more inflammation. And so it's just a whole new normal. And I want that for all of you, just a lot more vitality every single day. This is my family. and Doug's family. And we just are so happy that we were introduced to Juice Plus, because we don't spend time at the doctor's office. You know, that's wasted time. That's wasted money. We have better health, and we have good tools for better health like Juice Plus. And so Juice Plus, the research behind it shows a lessening of that oxidative stress just within 28 days. They look at the cellular level and say, oh yeah, that's pretty much gone. And then the immune system, within 80 days, your T cells are up, your natural killer cells are up, your immune system is working at a more optimal level. And because you no longer have that oxidative stress, you don't have as much damage to your DNA. And DNA is important. I'm sure you realize, you know, because every next cell is determined by that DNA. And there's always a little bit of strand breakage, but with Juice Plus, there's 66% less strand breakage. So it's really, really important. And then there's less systemic inflammation, which in general is good. There's better skin health and better gums. Well, it all comes down to good nutrition equals good results. And I'm gonna just see if Dr. Demi is on, which I'm sure he is. Let's see, there you are, Demi. You wanna go ahead and unmute yourself? Let me see if I can do it. Oh, I gotta do it over here somewhere. Sorry guys, hold on. So Dr. Demi Turner is from New York. Unmute, there we go. And he's a podiatrist. And can you hear me now, Dr. Demi?
I can.
Okay.
Good evening.
I guess you could always hear me. I just couldn't hear you. Okay. So tell us your experience, and then I'll show the PowerPoint with the pictures of what you found with your patients.
Okay, I'll be happy to. Good evening, everyone. First, it was a situation where we had people that I was seeing, and they had other medical challenges, and most of them were diabetic or had peripheral arterial occlusive disease. And they, for whatever reason, did not respond or were not on some of the medications that would be prescribed normally for these conditions. So we had a conversation with them, and they said, well, yeah, I would be looking for something natural if I could. And then I said, well, we have Juice Plus, and I have been using it. And I actually prescribed the medications for them, for their, you know, circulation. However, the first two elected not to fill the prescription. Both of them had difficulties because of the high copays, and they didn't fill it because it was going to be prohibitively expensive. And they said, well, I'm going to take this supplement. So my callback for them was about 3 or 4 weeks. In 3 weeks, they had an improvement that they said they felt better and they were sleeping better at night, and their foot didn't feel as cold in their toes, and they didn't have to wear socks. And then another 3 weeks, when I saw them again, they were better yet still. So then in the beginning, I had taken a measurement called an ABI, ankle brachial index. And it shows, thank you, Sharon, for putting that up. It shows how they started out. And on the one on the left, you can see the normal that this test is from 0.50 to 0.1. And this person started out at 0.06 on the right foot, and then 0.77, I'm sorry, on the left. When you see down here on the corresponding Doppler ABI range, it shows that, you know, the 0.06 is critically low. Having referred them to their vascular doctor, the vascular doctor said, well, okay, well, we could revascularize them, and the patient said, absolutely not. So I'm not going under the knife. And so we maintained them, and then we saw them, I think it's the range here, we saw them in 412, and then the follow-up was 3 months later at 726. And here you see that the 0.06 had now improved to 0.84. I was floored by this because this is the same patient who smokes cigars, is 70, I think no, this one is a 65-year-old cigar smoker. And we had that improvement with just the Juice Plus with the Vineyard Blend. So I was impressed, to say the least, and of course not making any medical claims for it. What happened? 4 or 5 more patients walked in, and we tried them on it. And I prescribe the circulation enhancing drugs. One took it, one didn't, and we have another graph that looks ostensibly just like this one. And it continues. So the people, when they come in and they get on the Vineyard Blend, their circulation improves, and it improves rather precipitously. So anecdotally, there you have it. I'm not making any medical claims for it, but there it is.
Well, Dr. Demi, are they on the Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard Blend, all 3?
Correct.
Okay.
All 3.
And they usually have diabetes and some kind of problem with their legs or their
circulation, yeah. There's some impairment to their circulation.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'll turn it back over to Doug.
Wow. That is amazing, and it's exciting. And Sharon, can you put up my
I'm sorry. Yes.
my slides, because I feel like my story is a little bit related. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about my story, because I noticed the patient, the chart that was up, that patient, it listed near the bottom that they had hypertension. And you'll see, even before this happened with me using our smoothies, just from using the Juice Plus products and really focusing on what we're doing in this community, which the philosophy of our community is that we're making simple changes. That to get healthier, all you have to do is make some simple changes. Well, the first simple change it's a no-brainer because it's easy, is taking Juice Plus. Doing things like drinking more water. We're focusing on that this month. Getting out and walking a little bit if you have a sedentary lifestyle. All these little changes add up. Now, I used to be somebody that was also, I had hypertension. I was on blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication. But now the only thing that I take is Juice Plus, and that's just all I need because the doctor says, hey, you don't need these things anymore. And again, we don't make like medical claims, but the more I hang around this community and the more doctors that I talk to that are recommending Juice Plus for their patients, the more stories like this we hear. Now, this is something I found really helpful. My story is I've always struggled with my weight. I've always kind of gone up and down, and I just get hungry and all this kind of stuff. Well, I started using the shakes, the Juice Plus Complete Smoothies, and you'll see that's my before and not so much an after, because I'm not done yet. I got a ways to go, but I've lost at least 30 pounds so far. And if you go to the next slide, Sharon, one of the major changes I've made was incorporating our Juice Plus Complete Smoothie. It's not technically a weight loss product, but it's a meal replacement. It's a whole food meal. It's real food. It even has a food label. It doesn't have a supplement label on it. And it's 100% GMO plant protein, 13 grams of protein. So it's a great pre-workout, post-workout shake. Lots of fiber in it. And the thing I love about it, it has a low glycemic index. And what that means is like the sugar is released slowly over time. So it gives you a longer energy. You don't get hungry really quick. Has lots of other great things in it, things that I don't really understand what they are or what they do. But I know that the people that really understand nutrition, these holistic nutritionists and doctors, are coming up with these formulas, things like spirulina, pumpkin and pomegranate powders, ancient grains, broccoli, alfalfa and radish sprouts, and Jerusalem artichoke. And it tastes great. That's the other thing is, we give out samples of these sometimes, and people are just like, oh, this thing tastes great, I'll order it. Well, it's great that it tastes great, but I love that it gives me a great nutritious meal. At the same time, when I'm having this for breakfast, I'm not having a bagel for breakfast. And if I have it in a late afternoon snack, then I can have a small salad for dinner. Now, next thing you know, I start to see the weight come off, and I just feel so much better. So I'm a huge fan of the smoothie. I would not do without it. I just love it so much. I want to introduce to you my friend Stacy Turner, who's going to share a little bit about her experience with Juice Plus. Stacy, if you want to unmute yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Doug and Sharon, for inviting me to come on and share our family's story. And really, Sharon shared Juice Plus with me years ago, 13, 14 years ago, and it's hard to believe it's been that long. And I'm so thankful we said yes to Juice Plus at that time, because I almost said no. I really just didn't understand the difference between whole food nutrition and vitamins. I didn't understand the connection between disease and prevention. I thought it was more genetic. And so I had a steep learning curve, and Sharon was really patient to help walk me through that until I was comfortable and understood what Juice Plus was. And when I did, and when my husband did, we wanted all of us to be on it. So my son was about 14 months old at the time. I was really struggling to get him to eat raw vegetables. And we did okay with fruit, but I thought we were healthy, which meant we ate green beans out of a can sometimes and had salad if we went out to dinner. But we weren't fruits and vegetables, or eating healthy wasn't really that big part of our lives. And it really wasn't until Sharon introduced this concept to me that kind of the light bulb went off in my head, and I realized there was something I could do. I didn't just have to be a sitting duck waiting for genetics to hit. And so I started to be proactive, and Juice Plus was really that one first simple change that we made. And then it was, changing to a healthier peanut butter and starting to read food labels, and being a part of this community has helped us to continue on. And we stayed with Juice Plus and continued taking it. I say I got hours back in my day because I didn't have to take a nap in the afternoon, but my husband really says he got his life back. We were talking about it last night, and it's just scary to think of where we would have been, because he had pneumonia 4 years in a row after we got married. And honestly, being sick had just become part of his character, I guess, kind of like a character trait. And we didn't realize how sick he was until he got better. And it took a good year for his immune system to build back up. It wasn't overnight, but we saw changes along that way. And we can use vacation days for vacation versus sick days. If somebody sneezes, he doesn't freak out, because before he would have gotten it, it would have been a 2 or 3 week cold. It would have turned to bronchitis, and at least once a year it was pneumonia. So we're just very thankful that this put us on a different path. And just like Sharon and I used Juice Plus as my prenatal with both of our girls, very different pregnancies with them, in how I felt. The pregnancy length was almost the exact same. I gained about half the amount of weight. It was much easier to work off the other weight that I had gained with them. I just felt healthier. I wasn't as tired. I didn't have to take naps. And with their medical history compared to my son, who as an infant did not have Juice Plus, it was like night and day difference. If we put Colin in the nursery at church, we were worried that he was going to be sick by Wednesday, and he usually was. He would catch some cold. I didn't even think about putting the girls in the nursery for church. It was no big deal. I just put them in there, and they were fine. And if they did catch something, it was just a couple days. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't turn into secondary ear infections and those type of things. So in the last 2 years, they're now 11 and 12. In the last 10 years, I have only taken them to the doctor twice for being sick. So what it has saved us in medical costs alone, I really feel like we can invest in our wellness, or we can subsidize our illness. And we choose things every day, honestly, for the most part, people do, that subsidize their illness. They buy Cokes, they drink energy drinks, they go out to eat dinner and lunch. they just make food choices that are subsidizing their illness, and they're okay with that. That becomes normal. Doctor copays are normal, and not sleeping well, not feeling well, that becomes normal to them. And we wanted more than that. I didn't want that to be our normal, and never do I want to go back to that. It's been an easy thing that we could take every day, the easy compliance. It's not a difficult thing. And once you get into the habit of it, you can tell a difference. If you miss a day or two, you're going to know, and that's because your body needs that nutrition every day. So the more consistent you are in taking it, the more benefits you're going to see, obviously, because it all, works at that cellular level. So I can't thank Sharon enough for telling me about Juice Plus, and I'm so thankful we were smart enough in our early 20s to say yes, because it's paid us back 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. I would pay hundreds more for Juice Plus if I had to, but please don't ever take it away from me, because we would be in a pure panic. I just don't know how else we would get these fruits and veggies into our diet so simply every single day. So that's my story, and I'm totally sticking to it. We're not going back.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Stacey. I love hearing stories like that, because it's hard to put a price tag on feeling good and being confident in what you're doing. Not only what you can feel and see, but what about the stuff we can't feel and we can't see? I mean, we didn't even get into the research studies deeply that are happening on Juice Plus, but there's stuff happening at the cellular level that it's protecting you. And that's just amazing. Well, I'm saving somebody really exciting for last here. Dr. Nalani Valentine is somebody that I deeply respect as just somebody that really understands health and nutrition as a naturopathic person. So Dr. Nalani, please tell us your experience with Juice Plus.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. In 1968, when I had my first baby, I thought I was really healthy because I started studying nutrition and soon became a nutritionist. Fast forward to 1996, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that really threw me for a loop because I thought I was healthy. I thought I knew how to eat well. And so I was told by many doctors that my only option was surgery. And that's when I was introduced to a naturopathic doctor who taught me to heal myself without drugs, without herbs, and without a whole lot of vitamins, just with nutrition and changing the way that I think. And that made me go back to school to become a naturopath myself, because I really thought I was healthy. I then, after that experience, really became even more conscious about food. And I became, well, what people call a vegan, but I'm eating a completely plant-based diet, mostly raw. And I was juicing every single day, every day juicing. And even with all of that, I developed arthritis in my hands. I mean, really painful arthritis. My fingers were stiff. I couldn't even touch the palm of my hand with my fingers, which you should be able to do. It was not pretty. And that's when I was introduced to Juice Plus. And it didn't happen overnight. It was similar to what Stacey said. It wasn't overnight because it's not a drug or a stimulant. But I noticed over time that my fingers were not hurting anymore. And then one day I realized, wait a minute, I have a range of motion in my fingers, and even the knuckle got smaller. And so the inflammation was gone. And understanding the research, it's just amazing that this kind of thing is so simple, fruits and vegetables. But even though I was doing all that juicing, it still wasn't doing what I thought it was doing. And this is raw food, and the variety that I was not getting, even when I was juicing, it was the same old thing: carrot, parsley, kale, carrot, parsley, kale. And I wasn't getting the variety, and I certainly wasn't getting the quality. And so I call it superior nutrition at the cellular level, and I'm so grateful for it. And I recommend it to all of our clients and patients as well.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. I was wondering, If anybody has any quick questions before we wrap up tonight, I know we had a lot of different speakers kind of throw things at you, everything from the moms that are helping their kids with better nutrition, the podiatrist that's talking about better circulation, the naturopathic doctor that's prescribing it in her practice, me using the shakes, even for weight loss. If anybody has any questions about any of that, you could unmute yourself and take those questions real quick. No? All right. Well, we definitely take time. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself tonight. And whoever invited you on this webinar, you can follow up with them and learn even more. And I just want to challenge you with something in closing. You have kind of 3 options, 3 doors you can walk through. Number 1, just take the information that you've heard tonight. Let it inspire you. Work on getting healthier. And remember, us at a later time, as you go through your own journey of getting healthier. Number 2, option B would be to become a customer of Juice Plus and to join our community of getting healthier and making these simple changes over and over, different changes as we go. We're getting healthier and healthier as we go, and it's really exciting, and it's a great journey. And the third thing is to inquire with that person that invited you onto this, because behind this great product, there's also an incredible company that we could talk for hours about. But we are on a mission. We're a mission-driven company. Our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. And that's our ultimate goal for you tonight, is that you're going to live a healthier life. And if that sounds exciting to you and you'd like to be a part of something like that, maybe you've wanted to maybe have a business someday, if that could kind of come together and you think, wow, I can help people get healthier and have a little business on the side, well, ask that person that invited you on tonight, and they can help you learn more about that. So once again, thank you so much for coming on. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for all the speakers. Great night. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.